So this doesn't look like a C-pod, but it is. These are the ribs that form the shape of the C-pod that we're making right now. Right now we are making the plug, and the plug is used, it's like the master that is used to make the molds that are used to make the C-pod. So there's many different ways of making the first molds, and we chose to use this method, which would basically use our 3D printer to cut these. These are pieces of wood. So we basically have the 3D printer acting as a router, and it would have, say, a sheet like a plywood, and it goes through and with the router cuts out these pieces, and it makes several pieces, and it optimizes, obviously it optimizes the cutting, so you get the most amount of material in one sheet of plywood. So here, just the way it's laid out here, it doesn't optimize all this, like this is wasted here, but in actual fact, when we actually do the cutting out, this is optimized, so everything is close together and we have the least amount of wood wastage as possible. But this is how it's laid out as you're, before you assemble it. And here's what the top section looks like when it's assembled. So these pieces here, you can see the grooves. They have a little groove there, and this groove interlocks with this groove, or with a corresponding groove on the other section, and then they lock together into this pattern like this. And then we cover this with a plastic material on the top and the bottom, with a little hole at the corners, and then we fill the hole with foam, and then this fills up, and then that gives us basically the shell shape, and then we go over top of that with fiberglass and gel coat, and that's how we make our mold. So here's another angle. So this starts to look quite a bit like a C-pod, and so that's how we have built the plugs that we're building right now. It all comes from this computer drawing that allows us to cut out these ribs.